Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Savvy Mineral Makeup class. So, hang on just a second. Lisa, do I have, am I the host? Because it's just showing blank for me. Can you hear me?
I see you and hear you.
Okay, but you don't see my slides?
No.
Okay. Hang on. Let's get through.
You're the host now, so you can share.
Okay. I'm just like, okay. All right, so here we go again. Let me take that back off. And let's go back to that. And all right. Now, here we go. Much better. All right. Now I can. Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy McGhin, and we want to welcome you to our Young Living Savvy Mineral Makeup class, our 101 class tonight. We're super excited about sharing some mineral makeup with you and the tips and why it's so important to use a clean makeup. And I am co-hosting this. I'm so excited. I am co-hosting this class with Mary Underwood, and I'm going to let her introduce herself in just a few minutes when she shares some great information with you. But my name is Kathy McGinn. I've been using essential oils for about five and a half years. And to be honest, I was completely ecstatic when Young Living launched a mineral makeup line. They started with the mineral powder first, and I absolutely was so stoked. I had boutiques at the time, and I sold makeup in the boutiques. And so we were so excited when we got started, and I just jumped right in, and I have never been disappointed. So it's definitely something that you want to try and get used to, because it's a clean makeup with a great coverage. Now, why Young Living? Why do we use the makeup from Young Living? Well, here's the thing. Not all makeup is clean with all the good ingredients and without all the bad ingredients. And just like everything that Young Living has, from their oils to their products, their makeup does not disappoint. And why have confidence in it? Because it's from Young Living, because it's got the seed to seal guarantee. And that gives me the confidence that I need to know that there are no synthetics, there's no bad stuff in it. They automatically guarantee that from their oils to every single product. So that gives me the confidence when I'm using the Young Living makeup that I've got a quality makeup that is good for me and doesn't have the bad stuff. Now I'm going to toss it over to Mary. She's going to introduce herself, and then I'm going to let her talk about some things with you about why you want to look at the ingredients in your makeup. All right, Miss Mary.
Thank you, Kathy. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mary Underwood, and I've been using Young Living since 2018. And I used Young Living before they had the liquid foundation and loved it. And when they did the liquid foundation, that was a game changer, and I really love it. So I wanted to share the not so good parts of not savvy, but our makeup, the old makeup that I used to use. So I'm just going to show you real quick. This is what I used to use. It's a double wear. I'm not going to show the brand, but it's a double coverage. And then I use these makeup wipes to take it off. And these are the two products that I said that I could never, ever live without. I would just have to die before I stopped using them. And so when I did my research, and I've just stopped using these within the past year, what these two have in common is phenoxyethanol. And what phenoxyethanol is, it's used as a preservative in cosmetics, and it prevents bacterial growth. So it is a preservative, but it's very, very dangerous. Some health concerns with phenoxyethanol are allergies, nervous system effects, skin exposure to phenoxyethanol range from eczema and hives to anaphylaxis. And eczema is a common allergic reaction to skin exposure of products containing just 1% or more of this phenoxyethanol. I don't know how much was in my old foundation, but I guarantee you it was at least 1% or more. And so I wanted to share this with you. In 2008, the FDA warned consumers not to purchase Mommy's Bliss nipple cream because of phenoxyethanol found in the cream. The phenoxyethanol was depressing the central nervous system and causing vomiting and diarrhea in breastfeeding infants. So they took it out of that product, but they left it in the grown-up makeup. And so if it's, they had to take it out of the nipple cream product because it was blatantly making the infant sick. But so it wasn't doing anything blatantly to us, but I would have some really bad days of depression and things. So since I've come off these products, I can honestly say that I truly feel better. So what about this product, just this one alone? Well, first of all, I want to go back to this one because the ingredients in this one, there's just so many that I can't even pronounce. I could sit here half a day and tell you, or try to tell you because I couldn't pronounce them. But there's some really bad stuff just in this one. But in this one alone, these makeup remover wipes actually have a class action lawsuit against them. The complaint alleges the label put forth by the company states that the makeup remover is rigorously tested and ideal for use on even the most sensitive skin are misleading. In truth, at least 7 variety of these makeup removing wipes cause itching, burning, dryness, peeling, redness, and inflammation, among other harmful reactions that are decidedly not safe and effective for all skin types. And the lawsuit is 41 pages long, if you ever want to go and Google it and read it. So, and like I was saying, I could be here half a day telling you what's in this one, but at the end of the day, what is in this makeup are allergens, neurotoxins, and central nervous system depressants. So with that, I'm going to tell you what is in our Savvy, which is stuff that you can at least pronounce. But so I've got my little notes here. Savvy has kaolin clay, jojoba oil, mica, aloe, pure essential oils, which we all love, aspen bark extract, arrowroot powder, sweet almond oil, beeswax, sunflower oil, and vitamin E. And none of that will hurt your skin, and you can pronounce it. And back to the aspen bark extract. Remember, I told you that the phenoxyethanol is a preservative that inhibits bacterial growth in cosmetics. Well, aspen bark extract does the same thing naturally. So if Young Living can get it together, I just don't understand why the other big guys can't either. So it's much, much safer. And not only does Young Living, well, I'm going to just kind of unpack it and put it into comparison. There's only 11 products that the FDA in the United States ban. Number 1 being lead in your lipstick. It's only 11. And compared to that, the gold standard is Europe. And I believe the number for that one was like 1,300, a little over 1,300 products they banned. But even compared to the gold standard in Europe, Young Living, our company, bans over 2,500 products in comparison to Europe. So that's the kind of company that I want doing my lip work. So I really am kind of upset with myself that I didn't research exactly a long time ago what I was putting inside my body and on my body, because makeup, we wear it all day, every day. And but with Young Living, I don't have to worry about that. They take all the guesswork and all the research. They do that for me. And so I know that I'm getting the best natural ingredients. So I wanted to just look at some ingredients like on our yes list here that that we can, well, we looked at the ones that are good for you. These are some that you can pronounce. These are on the no list, sorry. Just because you can pronounce them and they sound earthy doesn't always mean that you should use them. Like mineral oil, it's made from petroleum, which is the byproduct of the oil industry. It's the trash that's left over when they're done pulling it out of the ground. And it's cosmogenic, meaning it clogs your pores and may cause breakouts, premature aging, and negative hormone and immunity effects. The second one is talc. Talc, people read that on labels and think, oh, that's just talc, that's just powder. But talc is a skin irritant. It's a carcinogen that can cause organ system toxicity to lungs and ovaries, and it may contain asbestos. This is a common mineral in eyeshadow, blush, foundation, face powder, and baby powder. The next one is phthalates, endocrine disruptors. They can affect your thyroids and adrenal glands, and your makeup just might be why you're tired. But also parabens. Parabens are linked to skin cancer, reproductive issues, and are endocrine disruptors. And like I said, I could go on and on for days about bad things that are in here. But that's why I love the Savvy. It's just so nourishing. And I have a skin issue that I'm going to tell you about when I come back. But right now, I'm going to get off the toxins, and Kathy is going to talk about the fun part of what's in Savvy.
Thank you,
Or more about
Mary.
the makeup, I'm sorry.
That was awesome. That's just a great reminder of why it's so important to look into. I love what Mary was talking about, how many of that bad stuff that Young Living bans. That right there alone is important. And like she just said, your hormones, all of that. For women, we put over 300 chemicals on our body before we ever walk out the door. So all that stuff that Mary was talking about, not only do they not put that in, but then Mary shared with us all the good stuff, which is good for our skin. I can't tell you how many times I do a class and someone will say, well, I really don't wear makeup. Well, here's the thing. You should be wearing Young Living's makeup because you can do a very natural look, but it's a protectant as you go out into the environment, and it's actually good for your skin. So the more you wear it, the better your skin gets because it's got all that good stuff that Mary just gave us. Thank you, Mary. So I want to talk a little bit about the Savvy product. So this right here, there's some that they're tweaking. So there's some of these little eyeshadows that may be not available anymore. This is kind of an old graphic, but I wanted to share with you, this is what they first launched at. We have a mineral. A lot of people don't realize that the first launch of Savvy Minerals was a powder, all powder. They have, and they still have the mineral foundation powders. I highly recommend in class. I try to teach them to use both. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I'm going to talk more in detail of the tips on how to use that. And the great thing about this right here is that when I get these colors, they are so pigmented, it only takes a pinch. So they have blushes, they have eyeshadows, they have lip color, they have lip gloss, they have, the foundations in a cool, warm, or dark. And we're going to talk, don't worry, before this class is over, I'm going to show you how you can determine what color you need to get in. But the reason why I wanted to start with this is because these are so pigmented, and the minerals, a natural mineral is pigmented in itself. It darkens, so you don't have to use a lot of this, but also you can create, the color palette is endless by interchanging all of these things. So I create lip colors, I create eye colors, I create blush colors. My blush may be my eyeshadow. My eyeshadow may be my blush. I create a lip liner and an eyeliner from all of these palettes. And I'm going to talk a little bit more, but they are such an extensive, once you get a few pieces, you can create by using all of this. So I want you to know, not only do they have staying power, but you can create a whole world of creativity once you get just a few pieces in, and they're good for you and healthy. So about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years now, everyone had screamed, we need a liquid. Why? Because we're women and we're creatures of habit. And mineral makeup, I have foundation for about 15 years. So I love the powder actually. But for some people, they just couldn't because there is a little learning curve with the powder foundation. But here's the thing. Young Living hears us when we say what we need, and they created a liquid mineral foundation for those that said, I just can't seem to get a handle on using the powder. So voila, they gave us a great mineral liquid foundation. Healthy for your skin, shadow and all the oils in it. And let me tell you, a little bit goes a long way. And then they also come out with a concealer. So they have answered the call, but here's the thing. You can create anything with a little bit of the powder, a little bit of the liquid. You can have anything from a natural finish to an absolute glammed out look because it has buildability. It's you just layer it however you want to, and you can get that flawless. I'm going to share some of those tips with you as we go along. But before we can wear and get the end result we want, guys, we all want that fantastic look at the end. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I want my makeup to look this way. We have to start with a great skincare routine. So even though this is not about skincare, I wanted to throw it in there because to get to the end with a great end result, we have to have a great start. So I highly recommend that you use one of the skincare systems that Young Living has. They have something for everyone. If you don't know where to start with the Art Trio. It's just a little over $100. I used to go locally to the department store and spend twice that much on a great skincare line. So it's well worth the money, and a little bit, as with everything that I'm going to talk about tonight, a little bit goes a long way. You do not have to use a lot of this. It is so creamy and so silky that a lot of times people overuse because that's what we're used to when we buy something else. But this is not that way. So if you don't know what to use, go with the Art. If you have oily skin or you're acne prone, you probably want to start with the Orange Blossom. And then, like me, or let's say you have sun damaged skin, maybe you've noticed it being a little dull or uneven, then the Bloom line is an absolutely great choice. But they're all great. But if you don't know where to start or which one exactly to start with, I would definitely start with the Art Trio. Now, here's another little tip. If you're trying to, we want to improve our skin tone, and we want to improve the texture of our skin. Maybe you have, most time in a class, I get the acne questions or maybe some scarring. But longevity in a capsule every 30 days, for 30 days, you will notice a huge difference. So this is just improving our skin. And if you're prone to acne, we need to help work on that so that the outcome of your makeup will look amazing. And Young Living has an acne treatment, a maximum treatment tube of ointment. It works amazing. I've got friends that have swore by this with their teenagers. And also peppermint is a great one to add for your acne. And then a great blemish buster that I have given out over the years with success is the 10 of lavender, 5 rosemary, and 5 lemon. You fill that up with jojoba oil and apply it at night only because it has lemon in it. So if you are one that we need to personalize to the need of your skin, then I would start here. We'll talk about skincare a little bit more in another class, but I did want to touch on it. So Mary, I'm going to toss it back to you because Mary has a great testimony and I want her to share what's going on in this picture and walk you through this.
Okay, that scary picture. Thank you, Kathy. That actually is on both sides of my cheeks. That's a terrible picture, but I couldn't have on makeup to show you that. But that is eczema, and that is a recent thing in my life. When I hit, gosh, I guess I've had it 2 years now. I'm 51, but I can honestly say that when I was in my 20s, I had so many problems, especially infertility. I hit secondary infertility head on. And when I look back at all the products I was on, I had to have the latest, the greatest, everything. And when I say I did infertility, I did IVF 5 times, 3 miscarriages, I did have my daughter with fertility drugs. But anyway, and I was so sick in my 20s, but I can honestly say in my 50s, I feel 10 times better. I feel like I look better skin wise than I ever did when I was 25. And looking back, I have to say it was probably related to a lot of the products that I was on. I just didn't know what I was doing to myself, and diet too. So now that I'm in my 50s, I've learned a lot. But in the past 2 years, I've gotten eczema, and I can honestly trace it to two things that happen right at the same time, and that is menopause and getting a major dose of toxic heavy metals all at the same time. So I've been doing heavy metal cleanse, and I went to my dermatologist and of course got the topical steroid creams. It's like $250 without insurance. And my dermatologist told me, okay, stay on it 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And of course, within that 2 weeks, it cleared up, comes back, and I've since known what the triggers are, because there are triggers for eczema. So I know what my triggers are, but I since found out from another doctor and a close friend that you're really not supposed to put on topical skin steroid creams for longer than 3 days. And so I was doing it for 2 weeks. So that redness that you see, it's not only the eczema that, yes, is a flare up under there, but it's where I've really burnt and leathered my skin from the steroidal creams. And so this new doctor of mine is like, you have to treat the roughness. So with that being said, I've been doing my heavy metal cleanse, and I used to do chelation, which is very invasive. It's an IV in your arm, and it takes a while, about an hour. But cilantro essential oil does the same thing. And I started with pine oil, and pine oil really softened it. And then the cilantro oil has made it a lot better. But I was using the lavender with the rose ointment cream, and it was really softening the eczema, but it wasn't going away. So somebody told me, and I found a recipe through Young Living, add the Melrose to it. And the Melrose has been a game changer for my eczema. So ever since I've used the lavender, the rose ointment, and the Melrose, it is basically almost gone. It's a whole lot better than that picture that you just saw. So it is a game changer. And I think I've basically cured my eczema. I haven't even had the triggers. You know, I can kind of feel it, my cheeks heating up, but it doesn't flare up like it did. And I think it has a lot to do with the pine oil, the cilantro oil, but definitely I have cured the leatheriness and the burntness of the eczema through the lavender, Melrose, and the rose ointment. But a lot of people think it's just eczema and, oh my gosh, it's just here to stay, when it's not that at all. Yes, you do have the flare-ups, but you burnt your skin and you've leathered it. So that needs to be treated. And this is the key right here. The lavender, the rose ointment, and the Melrose mixed together. And I do it morning and night. And I'm going to do it for prevention also, because I just don't want to take that chance nor use that cream ever again. So that's what I've had true success with my eczema, is this recipe right here. But also I wanted to share with you my favorite color. When Young Living first came out with the liquid concealer, they had sold out. And so I got the only color that they had left over, which was the tan. And I've never used something, to me, tan is really dark. I would never just order that. But I thought, well, I could get it, mix it with a concealer, make it lighter, because I wanted it so, so bad. So when I got it, Young Living products are so forgiving and they're so buildable that the tan is actually my perfect shade. And I'm going into winter now, and it goes in, just crosses so easily. But tan is my favorite color and my perfect shade. And who would have thought that? So I'm so glad that I accidentally ordered that. And also my favorite lip gloss is Maven, and it is year-round seasonal. But if you want a good lip gloss that goes great with just about everything but red, You can wear it with every color but red, but it's called Maven, and it's my favorite lip gloss. And it's always in my purse. One's in my makeup bag at home, and one's in my purse, and I don't leave home without it. So anyway, that is my these are my two favorites. And I also use the Multitasker in dark as my brow filler. It's like you said, Kathy, you can do so much with them, but the Multitasker is what it says it is. It's Multitasker. I fill in my brows with it, and it's my eyeliner, and I do use it really light with as a lip liner for brown lipsticks and nudes. So anyway, that is what I have for my favorites, and that is my recipe for eczema. And I hope that anybody out there that has eczema does try it.
Yes, also that's excellent information. Thank you so much, Mary. And that just goes with what we were trying to say about the skincare. You can't talk about the makeup line without talking a little bit about us meeting our personal need of getting our skin in really great condition. And this mineral makeup is definitely a way to do that. So, all right, so now let's get to the good stuff. I'm going to run through on the how do we color match? That's probably the number one question that everybody asks me, and don't overthink it. I promise you it's going to be okay. This makeup is so forgiving, guys, until if you just get in the right color family, you're going to be just fine. So if you look at your wrist right here where it's thin, if you kind of see a blue vein, then more than likely you're cool. And if your veins look a little green, then more than likely you're warm. And I say more than likely because there's always that one person that's kind of like against the rule you're going to find. But these are good guidelines that I'm going to share with you that you can just about kind of figure out what your shade is. Now, if you are cool, then more than likely when you look into your mirror, you're going to see pink, red, or blues. Your veins on your wrist will be blue. You're more than likely somebody that wears silver jewelry. You feel better in silver jewelry, probably blue, green, or gray. Now, I'm a licensed makeup artist, and I have never wanted to go by someone's hair color because 90% of us girls do not have our natural hair color. We've either lightened it or darkened it or changed the tone or hue. So you want to go by these things right here that I'm talking about. You want to look at your skin because you want your makeup not to alter. You want your makeup to blend in to your skin tone. So if you're warm, you're going to look into the mirror. You're probably going to see golden, peachy, yellow tones. You're going to see green in your veins. You're probably one that wears gold jewelry. And your eyes are going to be brown, amber, and sometimes hazel. I say sometimes hazel because most of the time I'm hazel. And most of the time hazels they can wear either or, and it really depends on the season because we have green eyes, which pulls cool, but then we have flicks of yellow or brown, and that can actually change depending on the season. So I usually wear a little bit of both, but I want you to not get caught up in this. And if you're just struggling, take a white sheet of paper, put it up beside your face, and look into the mirror. And when you put that white sheet of paper there, you're immediately, something is going to jump out at you. And it's if you see pink and reds and blues, then you're probably cool. If you're seeing those peachy golden tones, then you're probably warm. And if you see a little bit of both, then you're probably a neutral. You could very well be a neutral. Another way to tell is if you white shirt a lot, then you're probably cool. If you tend to go off-white or cream, then you're more than likely a warm. But just remember, as we said, this makeup is so forgiving that if you get into the right color family, you're not going to be disappointed. I also highly recommend 4 or 5 of your friends get together and everyone just order one of the shades and then do a make and mix party. In other words, you buy the little tubes, everybody brings something, and everybody takes a little bit of each color home. And it's a fun way to be creative and get to try out. The reason I say don't stress over it, just get in the color family. Guys, I bought this whole kit because I teach classes on it. When they launched this, I bought every one of them. And I could put on every single one of these colors until I got to pecan, hazelnut, and the cocoa. That's when you could tell it was maybe not quite my shade, but these others I could make work. So as long as you kind of tell if you're cool or warm, and in that depth of family, you're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. So I did put on here something just as an extra. If you burn really easily, more than likely in the liquid, you're going to be porcelain of ivory. If you don't really tan a whole lot, then buff, fresh beige, natural beige. Those are good starters. If you burn sometime and tan more gradually, then natural beige, sand beige, honey, it's probably going to be one of those. You just have to pick am I warm or am I cool? And then if you tan really easily, then probably pecan, caramel, and truffle are going to be one of those. Now on the powder foundation, they have cools and they have warms, and of course then they have the darker colors, the dark. And most people, if you're going to start with the mineral foundation, the powder foundation, I usually tell people if you're cool, try Cool 2 first. If you're warm, try warm first, because they're like middle of the road. And because it's a mineral powder and it's a natural mineral that's in there, it heats up with your skin and it darkens as it sits on your skin. So that's why that layering comes into place, and it really will darken up. I tell people put a couple of times on and then go put your, your shirt on, put your eyeliner on, put your lip liner on, whatever your routine is, and then come back in and look, because the powder foundation will kind of darken once it sits on the face and works in with the heat of your face just a little bit. All right, the canvas, that's why we talked about the skincare, but you always want to use some type of lotion. Now, everybody's texture is a little bit different. That's why you have to play with it. But it is important that we start with a primer, a base. So you want your lotion. If you want to get the primer from Young Living, I love it. I think the hydrating has been out for a little while, but they do still have the mattifying. But if you don't have either one of those, if you have the renewal serum, it works really well. If you have Cheryl May, for some people, that works really well. The Art lotion works really well. It plumps you up and kind of gives you that smooth canvas to start your makeup with. And if you're going to wear the mineral powder foundation, you absolutely must type of lotion or hydration on there. Now, if you get the mineral makeup powder, misting spray is an absolute must. So I can't tell you how many times when that was out, or we do a makeup class, people will say, you know what, I got that mineral powder stuff and I just couldn't get the coverage that I wanted. And I'll say, well, how many times, show me how you do your misting spray? And they're like, oh, I didn't get the misting spray. And I tell them, you can't get a full coverage with your mineral powder without the misting spray. That's the missing key component. So if you're going to do the mineral powder, you definitely need the misting spray. Now I've got some of the personal favorites and must have, and I've got lip balm on there. I'm going to show you why that is. There's a few little tips I'm going to leave to the very end, but I'm going to take it off the slide because you can't really see me that well. So I'm going to go through all of my slides and then I'm going to give you a couple of extra pointers. But remember this, and I'll show you this, is that when I take the slides off, you can make lipsticks your blush. You can make your blush your eyeshadows. You can make your eyeshadows or blush your eyeliner. And like Mary said, the multitasker is absolutely fantastic for a brow or a defining pencil, if you will, for your eyes, whatever the need may be. Play and have fun with it. So to unlock your 24% savings, if you're not already a member and you want to become a member, you just need to place a $100 order, or you can place one item on Subscribe and Save for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months and get that 24% off. Now we talk about bundles, and this one's really hard to do because I would reach out to the person that invited you to this class, or the person that enrolled you and say, hey, I really am wanting to get my makeup in and I want to put together a bundle. And the reason I say this, because it really needs to be personalized to you, what you get in. These are just some really great ideas. So before I hop off of the slides, I want to say this. I have never in a class encouraged someone to feel like they need to take all of their makeup and buy $600 or $700 worth of makeup in order to start that. I always encourage everyone, just put together a little bundle. And if I had my recommendations for most people, you need a great foundation. I like to utilize the liquid and the powder together. If you want a complete flawless look, that's the best combination to do. But start with a foundation. You can start with an eyeshadow palette. You can get a concealer or a lip gloss, and that's going to bring you up to about 126. Or you can do the mascara, a concealer, and a liquid foundation and a lip gloss, and that's going to bring you up to about $131. But the key is that you want to get, there we go, that you want to get something that is personalized to what your needs are. Now, I couldn't really do this on the slide, so bear with me just a second. Your brushes are going to be really key on what you get. So if you get a powder, if you get the mineral powder, you are definitely going to want a really great kabuki brush or the mineral powder foundation brush by Young Living. So if you get on subscribe and save, you can save your points for that. And if you get the liquid foundation, you're definitely going to want to get the foundation brush. Why? Because they're totally different, guys. And the way that they are applied is very, very different. And that's what's going to create that flawless finish for you. So I wanted to show you really quick the eyeshadow palettes. If you want to start with something, these are great. Guess what? I can do a blush out of this. I can do a lip liner out of this. I can do my eyeshadows out of this. Using your multitasker, you can make it darker. You can make it lighter, whatever the case may be. And so I do use the misting spray. So here's the thing. This is why you want to save your lip balm. Now I use the lavender all the time. So I wanted to show you something pretty cool. So I have the mineral. This is by Young Living. This is their eyeliner and brow brush right here. So like Mary talked about, I can put this on my brows. I can define my brows and make a brow gel, if you will. I can also make a gel liner with this with the jet setter. So I put a little bit of this on there. I can also, where is it? Take mic drop. Have you ever seen mic drop? So mic drop is very, very intense, right? So I will take my lip balm. I'm going to put it on my hands. I am going to take my mic drop and I'm going to make a little gel pattern. Guess what? This is what my color is on my cheeks tonight. So when you dab right here, this creates a cream. A lot of people are used to using a cream, and you are just going to tap that in and work it in and diffuse it out, and it becomes the most beautiful blush you have ever seen. Then whatever I have left over, I'm going to put on my lips. And then I am going to take my diamond dust, our mineral veil, and I am going to tap in the center. And I have just diffused that out, and it looks nothing like mic drop. And when I go outside, and it's one of the ones that I get the most compliment on when I wear it on my cheeks and on my lips, because I have just diffused that out, because when you add the white in there, it changes the whole color and the shimmer in the mineral veil. Also, if you spray this eyeliner pencil with your misting spray, after you've put one application of your mascara, you want to mist the tip of that. You want to take your mineral veil and tap it in your lid. You're going to get this on there, and you are going to stroke up and down on your lashes. There you go, girls. There is your lash extensions without having to buy a lash extension. And then once it kind of sits on there, take your mascara and go back over it and watch what happens. I do it in every makeup class, because when I do a makeup class, I come with absolutely no makeup, because I want them to see from beginning to end that I use nothing but my Savvy makeup line. And I show them how to get it from just a natural everyday to a really glammed out look. You can do whatever you want to do. All right, so Mary and I were going to open it up. I know we don't have it, we're kind of over here. I knew I was going to do this with the makeup, but I'm going to open it up. Lisa, is there any questions or anything anybody was asking along the way? If so, we will try to answer them if there was any questions at all. We are going to try to do like a 102, a Savvy 102 that breaks it down more into a lot of those tips. I have so much of that I can share. It's not even funny, but I try to give you a little something, but really and truly dive in to see what your makeup ingredients are and just give it a try. Lisa, was there anything anybody asked?
There was no questions on my live video. Allison, did you see any questions in our group yet? Nope. But I know you'll be around later, Kathy, to answer questions and give tips. And I personally have been using only the Savvy Mineral makeup for about 3 years now, and I love it. I love it so much, and it's so pretty and natural, but it gives lots of coverage. So I love it, and I love all the tips that you shared tonight.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, and thank everyone for showing up and supporting us tonight on our makeup class and just being here. Get with the person that invited you if you want to place an order and get started with Young Living, or if you want to get color matched, your enroller will be happy to help you with that. We're so excited to have you join us, and we will definitely do a 102 coming up very soon. All right.
Kathy, you're going to have to end it on Facebook because I'm not a host.
Okay.